Good morning, everyone. Today is an exciting day for the CRPS community, and we're having a continuing conversation with Bryan Pope, a member of our board of directors and a litigator, national litigator for people with CRPS. And we're going to be talking about the outcome of the Kowalski, taking care of Maya Kowalski, the trial. And it's been a tremendous verdict in favor of the plaintiff. And Attorney Pope, take it away.
Morning, Jim. Yeah, it's a great day. Anytime you get a verdict like this that kind of rings around not only the CRPS community but the whole country, and really the world was watching. I mean, you look at there's European press was following this case, so it has major implications. I will be the first one to have Gregory Anderson ship me some nice crow, because I think the last time you and I spoke, it was right after the jury had gone to begin deliberations. And I was predicting a plaintiff's verdict, but boy, I had estimated our plaintiff friends down in Florida. Our trial lawyer team for Maya's family was well beyond what I had expected. And boy, if I'm ever wrong, it certainly is a good time to be wrong. The total verdict, including both compensatory and punitives, I'll talk about that in a second, is over $261 million, which is just a shocking amount of money for a case like this down in what would be considered a fairly conservative venue. So it means that this hospital really stepped in it, whether it was before the trial, during the trial, things that were said. Something got this jury going. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But there were, some basic elements of the lawsuit arising out of the Take Care of Maya story, which, everybody, not everybody, but most people have seen on Netflix, certainly in the CRPS community. And if you have not seen the documentary, I would recommend that you see it, because it really explains the whole story and the tragic nature of what happened to Maya's mother, Beata, who ultimately committed suicide because she felt like the only way that Maya would ever come home from the hospital was if she was not an impediment. The jury awarded, the two biggest, Jim, awards for the compensatory were Jack's wrongful. Jack is the Maya's father and Beata's husband. The $50 million was awarded to him for the wrongful death of his wife, for the pain and suffering and mental anguish, loss of companionship, loss of enjoyment of having the relationship with his wife as a result of her suicide, which the hospital was found liable for through the nature of the testimony. And the other large award was $22 million to Maya for non-economic damages, her pain and suffering and mental anguish that she had to go through due to the medical negligence of Johns Hopkins while she was there during that 97-day period. There was also positive findings on false imprisonment, and that was for when they were taking photos of her against her will, preparing to go to show her at court what she looked like, and the nature of what happened there. The jury found that was false imprisonment, battery for Kathy Beatty's actions we talked about a little bit, fraudulent billing, I'll talk about that in a minute, survivor claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress on Beata that survived, that goes to her estate. So, the jury found across the board, Jim, that this hospital was egregious, and that's why the punitive damages of $50 million for false imprisonment and battery were found. So the total verdict was over $260 million. I found a couple things I wanted to mention and let's put up for discussion, but they talked to Maya after the news channel talked to Maya after the verdict. And she said, and I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I got the quote right. She said, "To me, it was about the answer, knowing my mom was right. I want people to know she wasn't harming me at all. I mean, for the first time, I feel like I got justice, and that's really what our civil justice system is set up for, is to allow people like Maya and her family to come to court and to find out the answers that they wouldn't otherwise find out from their peers of a jury of 6. So the jury was comprised of 2 men and 4 women, and I haven't seen anything yet in a post-jury interview. Maybe we'll see it in Dateline or something like that. There'll be court TV. I would imagine at some point the jurors will want to talk, but it's still fresh, and so maybe they don't want to talk quite yet. And then Jack Kowalski was quoted after the trial. He said, "Parents have rights, and they make the decision for their children." And we had talked about that being a big theme. Clearly, the hospital got stuck with a jury that felt like they had stepped on parental rights, and that is a big no-no. So anyway, big verdict, Jim. Hopefully, it is very helpful for the CRPS community in getting forward our message of how hideous this condition is, and that hospitals, primary care providers, they need to wake up.
Yeah, I'm confused. Now, does the hospital automatically get to appeal the verdict, or this is done?
No, they have the right to appeal. In the Florida courts, they'll be able to appeal. They'll be able to tie this verdict up potentially for years, because there are a lot of potential points that the hospital is going to claim were prejudicial. Jury shouldn't have heard certain things. There was error in what the judge made rulings on. But Gregory Anderson did say that he felt confident that it didn't matter how long it took, but that they were going to be able to hold that appeal. Now, is there a possibility that the hospital would then settle out of court after this verdict? I mean, clearly there's leverage now for the Kowalski family and their attorneys if they wanted to try to just get it over with and get some closure. But they do have a bird in the pocket, Jim, because they did settle with Sally Smith for $2.5 million early on. So it's not like the family, and Maya especially, is in dire straits for economic resources. So they can hold out and see what the Florida appellate courts do. And I'm not an expert in Florida appellate law, so I don't know what their chances are, but I do know it's hard to overturn a verdict just based on some of the things that I've read so far. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but the hospital says that we disagree with the jury, and we are going to take it all away, and so we'll see.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with the National Organization of Rare Disorders today and a number of other pediatric pain advocates, and we're looking at there's 7,000 rare diseases, and I truly believe that this is not an isolated case where there has been medical child abuse against Maya. It does occur with other rare diseases because a lot of emergency departments and hospitals are unfamiliar with the symptoms of rare diseases. And we're going to be reaching out to other rare disease organizations to try to quantify what's going on.
I guarantee you, Jim, that this verdict is going to result in changes in policies and procedures in hospitals around the country, especially children's hospitals, and making sure that their staff is aware, certainly of CRPS, but hopefully other rare disorder conditions like you discussed, because they're now on notice. This is what a verdict does. It puts them on notice that there potentially is a problem out there. And hopefully this is a verdict that will help people around the country and parents around the country have maybe assert some more control over their decision-making on how their children are going to be treated.
I think it's wonderful. I really appreciate your synopsis of the verdict, and let's keep in touch as this proceeds.
Yeah, I was gonna close by saying, okay. I think we had talked about what drives a jury, and I think it's really important in this case because I brought up the fact when we talked that that Johns Hopkins had been treating her for CRPS for years. In fact, they put in a port for her ketamine. And so for them to turn around and to deny the diagnosis and to attack the diagnosis, I think the jury didn't go along with that. The fact that they billed over $570,000 to the health insurance company for the Kowalskis for the CRPS diagnosis the whole time that they were trying to deny that she had it, I think that really inflamed the jury. There was something that happened very close to the end of trial, and I'm not sure exactly how it played, but there was some reference to the hospital having some immediate concerns about accreditation and about what was going on with their culture, that they were able to bring out literally on the last day of trial, that things were still not what they were representing to the jury, that they were still having serious problems at Johns Hopkins. And so that might have been the spark that lit the flame, so to speak, for this jury. And ultimately, and I think we talked about this, who is Johns Hopkins to say what the parents should be able to do for their children when they have had somebody like Dr. Kirkpatrick and Dr. Hanna, who are eminent experts in the field of CRPS, diagnose and prescribe a treatment course for their child, for the hospital to step in and say, no, we know better, and we're going to take away that right from you. The ultimate right of a parent in terms of their child is their decision making, and to take that away, I think that, again, among other things, it built up, but that got the jury over the edge. And the hospital deserved every penny of the verdict that they got against it. And like we've been talking about, I mean, this is a good day for the CRPS community. Over 10 million people as of August had seen Take Care of Maya. I'm sure there'll be more people that'll watch Take Care of Maya. I really hope that the documentarians do an addendum or a follow-up to the documentary, because it would be interesting to hear, what happened during the trial, things that we don't know about, and to talk to the Kowalski family and put, hopefully some closure on this whole story. But no getting around it. This was a shocking verdict to the hospital community, to the CRPS community, and I couldn't be happier for my trial lawyer brethren down in Florida and for the Kowalski family finally getting justice.
I agree. My calculator was not keeping up with the counts coming in. It's marvelous.
Well, it's like I said, you're in trouble when the jury's asking for economic damage information. You're in trouble.
And we hope that it has some type of closure and also healing for the Kowalski family. They've been through hell.
I mean, you could see, Jim, in Maya's face, and then ultimately in the whole family's face when the jury was reading the verdict, just tremendous sense of emotion that overcame, and they weren't able to control, because this was justice for Beata. Really, that was what that was all about. I mean, Maya, she continues to wear her mom's engagement band on her ring finger, carries her rosary, has a necklace that she got at Johns Hopkins that she gave her mom, and now she's got a little photo in there of her mom and her when she was in Mexico getting her ketamine treatment. So very, very close, dear to her heart, and this was a big deal for the family.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for being available to us in the CRPS community.
Absolutely, Jim. I'm happy to do it, happy to continue the mission and helping people all over the country with CRPS and with their legal battles.
Okay. Thank you again.